All right, ready?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the Section 109 podcast here from Studio Breezy. That sound you hear is
Little Red Bull?
a little Red Bull. And Matthew has all the coffee. I am joined here, as always, by Bobble Juan, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Toby's here somewhere. I don't know where he went.
He went under.
That makes sense. He is a scaredy cat. And Matthew, you and I did, I'm not even going to say our civic duty, our long-awaited thing we should have done many years ago. And we renewed together our real IDs.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
So
had to change my voter registration and everything.
We can.
By the way, if you're listening to this, the deadline to register to vote for the May local primary elections.
One might argue the most important elections you can vote in are your local elections.
Yeah, there is like one thing, contested thing, maybe two, depending on which. There's if you live in Ridgedale like we do, there is a Democratic primary for the county commission seat, and I think there is a judge race being contested on the Republican side.
Okay.
In the primaries. The May primaries are going to have about 17 people vote in this county. So if
Your vote counts.
So your vote actually counts, and you should look up your sample ballot and be registered by, it's like April 3rd.
And remember, your local democracy not only has oftentimes a bigger effect on your life, you can get a hold of those people and plead for things that could make your life better, not just potholes. Like there is somebody canvassed by my door the other day that is running for that Hamilton County seat that lives like 2 streets over. I think I could probably find her and ask her out to coffee to talk about an issue that was important to me in a way that I could never do in national politics. So
Yeah.
This is your civic duty part of the podcast for Matthew and I. But we are podcasting without Jim only because Matthew and I realized end of last week, like, hey, we both need to do our real IDs. Let's just go do it together. That way, if we're stuck at the DMV for 3 hours, it's not as terrible. And by the way, it was shockingly not a bad experience, although the Red Bank DMV is closed, if you don't know this, for renovations. And on Google, it says it's open, so we showed up there. But
Oops.
We all went to the Bonnie Oaks. We were in and out, including me having to go get an additional document because the documentation was unclear. We were in and out under 2 hours with the two of us and me having to run get a thing. So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
as far as DMVs go, pretty solid. But Matthew, we are not talking about DMV stuff. Oh, I didn't finish what I was saying. The reason Jim is not here is because we were not planning to podcast today. And then we got Matt and I think both thought we might take 4 to 6 hours at the DMV today. We were prepared to have our own little personal podcast together talking about stuff. And then we got in and out quickly. So we came home and quickly threw up a podcast and we're going to rock and roll. So Matthew, I would like to ask you first, since we just played a game in Huntsville, the Rocket City, 2 nights ago, and had I would say a lovely time.
A lovely time.
How are you feeling? How are your vibes?
Well, let's get it off the mark. Game finished 2-2. Huntsville took the extra point in the PK shootout. Vibes, honestly, vibes are decent.
Why? Because I sense that the vibes of others, including co-host Jim, who's not here to defend himself, and others that I've seen in different places online, might not be as, decent.
Yeah, so my vibes are always going to be better when you come back from from 2 goals down. You're down 2-0. You come back to tie the game, regardless of what happens in the shootout. Like, vibes are going to be much, much better. Certainly better than having a 2-goal lead and blowing it.
Absolutely.
So I think that's really important, number one. Number two, for the first time, maybe not ever, because I think I'd have to go back and look at the XG from American Soccer Analysis from 2024, because not a whole lot happened in either away game in Huntsville. that we played down there, not a ton of things happened. So I don't know if this would be accurate or not, but certainly in this new era of Huntsville and byproduct of Nashville SC, 2025 and now 2026, that's the lowest expected goals we have held Huntsville to. Yes, they scored 2 goals. Okay, whatever. But we held them below 1 XG. And
why does that matter to you when they scored 2 goals?
Yeah, because sometimes ball goes in. Like we talk about on this podcast a lot, that especially early in the season, like results matter, but you want to see the process work. And we have 2 different data sources now.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
By the
well,
way,
two different data models. They use the same input data.
Do you know the gentleman's name?
Ben Griffiths.
Okay, so I assume it's a dude who puts together that one. That is really cool. And if you ever somehow hear this, I don't know why you would hear this. You rule, man. That's a really cool way to present data.
And it's not just for MLS Next Pro, by the way. Like he's got data from all across the world. Game data from all across the world. So I look at the performance, which, okay, was it 33%? Was it 36% possession? I don't care. We limited Huntsville to, I think, only 10 shots total. One of them was a very, very big chance.
A big part of why they had less than 1 expected goals is because they didn't shoot the ball.
Right. Like the way we defended, and the way they wanted to keep possession, like they were very much, we helped them for the most part in this game do the possession without penetration thing. Only a few times were they able to really penetrate and cause some problems. And I think even though we gave up 2 goals, I think that's a really, really good sign from us. Because you could say, yeah, well, Huntsville's not been that good this season. And I would just look at, there were 6 players in that starting lineup that are either on first team contracts or have been on a first team contract at a different MLS team. And well, 7 if you count Isaiah. So,
well, he's with us.
Yeah. So like, I thought it was really, really encouraging performance. That I think a lot of people are gonna get muddied because they saw,
because ball didn't go goal.
Because ball went goal 2 out of 3 times for Huntsville in the first half.
Yep.
And that meant that we were down by 2. And I understand that, and like I get it, but also totality of the game. We got the goal. You converted a big chance at the end of the first half.
Speaking of vibes, that was a vibe elevator.
And then we came out just with some purpose in the second half to wrestle a little bit of control in the game. Now, part of that is us, right? Part of that is Huntsville took out their best center back at halftime, who had 84 touches in 45 minutes.
He's very good. Hey, Zach Barrett, come home, man.
Yeah, seriously.
Next year, I'm just saying, you'd look real good in a better shade of blue.
Yeah, for sure. And so, we asked some questions of Huntsville. And really in both halves we did. Like there's a penalty shot that doesn't get called in the first half. A large part of our defensive approach was to not press the goalkeeper, who I think is 18 years old. Not to press the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper makes the decision on where the ball goes, and then we shape the press from there. We kept the line pretty high, which is why the ball had to go over the top sometimes, and it sometimes worked. But we kept our lines really compressed around midfield to try to prevent Huntsville from just dictating through us the entire game. And so they just spent a lot of time kind of probing and not really doing much with the ball, which I think is a sign that the game plan worked, even if we did go down 2 goals in the first half. And we saw that, we don't necessarily want to be like go old school Red Bull, high press, win the ball high at the field, and then turn and like square ball for the immediate counterattack. Like, we want the ball to be a little bit higher up the field when we win it. And we're more than happy to take a gift if you misplace a pass or if we can read and jump the passing lane. And we saw that, DBJ's chance in the first half, I think we're down 1-0 at that point in time, comes from one of these situations. So like we've seen us get some chances in other games doing the same kind of defensive technique. And now we have some athletes in this group that can take advantage of some moments. Zach Barrett, who we were just talking about, the Huntsville center back, does a great job reading the play, coming across, reducing the angle to near post. Keeper makes a great save.
Yeah, on DBJ's big chance. Yeah,
but that's those are big moments and encouraging things. If you look at the data across the entire game, both ASA and Ben Griffiths' models have it at about, I'm gonna do an average on these, but like 1.85 to 0.9. Like, we 2x'd them. Yes, that includes a penalty, which counts at 0.75 to 0.8, but we 2x'd them because like we earned that penalty for sure. And there's arguably we should have had another one. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it's sometimes I want to say, well, okay, you clipped him on the edge of the box. It's a penalty, but like, come on, like nothing was going on. And then you look at the totality of those two moments where if Anthony gets the call or doesn't get fouled, like he's in a moment where he can square at the corner at the 6. Like that's a huge type of moment that a chance could be created from. So like all of these things going together keeps the vibes pretty good for me. Yeah, we've only got 4 points. I get that in 4 games. But the type of stuff we are doing and creating early in the season is really encouraging.
Yeah, I'll also point out that you've been very grumpy at this point in the season and after the last 2 seasons.
The first 2 seasons in Next Pro.
Yes.
Because we were getting results in what I thought was a completely unsustainable way. And I feel pretty vindicated both of those years.
I mean, kind of.
Because things did come back to earth.
In the middle of the season. Yeah, and I think, first of all, like anyone looking at cumulative data right now, including us that we're talking about it.
It's way too early.
It's way too early. But it is promising in a way. We're winning XG battles in a way we weren't last year, and we're just better. We're better in a lot of different ways that we weren't last year. So the vibes, I would say my vibes are slightly lower than yours because we really need ball to go goal because that's how we make the playoffs. And look, results are not great right now, but we won the Open Cup game, so that does raise my, which we need to talk about a little bit, that does raise my vibes a little bit because it matters. And then also, like, I'm just, for a team that's picked up 1 point per game, after having watched Crown, again, last night we watched it, like, when you watch Crown, like, if that game feels better, we went out and smacked, maybe a bad team, who knows how good Connecticut is or isn't, but we went and got that those points there. And Chicago and Huntsville are both like reasonably even games that feel really bad because of control. Because both of those teams
want the ball.
Because both of those teams' coaches are probably on the Epstein list with how perverted they play soccer. That is like, they're just soccer perverts out there. I mean, Huntsville started that game with a kick out of bounds so they could press. That is Epstein level perversion.
A poorly executed, by the way.
They're on the list somewhere getting whatever. So like it's wild to see like us, I guess. Not wild is probably the wrong word. It's encouraging on some level to see us playing even with 2 teams that we lost to, or better than, depending, and then taking care of Connecticut, and then getting smashed, of course, by Crown. But like everyone's getting smashed by Crown.
We've played Crown better than anyone so far this season.
Arguably, yes.
Number one, we scored against them, and we didn't give up 7 goals in that game. So like, we created more than just like 1 goal against Crown, and then the expected goal side. Like there's some decent stuff even in the Crown game, and they're monsters, right?
Yeah. And then
Chicago is not that bad. The models differ a little bit about the Chicago game, but like there was a lot to like there. And then I thought that we handled the Open Cup game really, really well given the circumstances. And if you don't know, like
A 14-year-old scored? It's the only thing I know. It's the only thing you see on social media from.
so.
Also, fuck you, Men in Blazers, first of all, and all the others who used a picture of Breezy and Kalonji from like 4 years ago in like the 14-year-old scored picture. Like, I saw him on the field. He doesn't look like the picture you posted. Like, they posted a picture of him at just a 12-year-old or an 11-year-old or something.
You want to know what it is? They probably just captured whatever ID card that was uploaded to the UPSL website.
It's just so. I mean, he did score, but like
also call him out by name. Seven Ramos, man.
I wasn't going to. I was going to be nice. I was going to be nicer. I was going to say fuck them, but also not like call out, friend of the show,
friend of the podcast,
friend
David
of the
Ramos.
pod, GFOP in Men in Blazers terms.
Evan, I don't think you listen to this these days, but also shout out and come see us sometime.
Yeah. Just don't do propaganda against us. But that we did handle that game well, and it went well. And I think like here's the thing:
can I say why the circumstances before you get into the game?
No, I'm not going to get into the game. Okay. I will let you go. I was just going to say vibes wise, because we're talking about vibes here. We're not talking about a bunch of objective facts. We're talking about like small little facts that we think are vibe related that help us. Like if we start losing these XG battles or we just can't get points going forward, like the vibes will change because ball has to go goal. But I think because of the way that we think this is a more sustainable way to win games in the middle and end of the season, you and I feel better about this than maybe the average person does. But it's really still really early. We are making kind of sweeping generalizations, and that's what we do in vibes. But it is still really early. Like we'll have a lot more thoughts six regular season games from now. Also, when we hopefully knock on some wood here from the beer barrel, like knock on wood that we get our 4 international spots that we're waiting for in. Like once they're in, like what do we look like? Games 10 through 15 or potentially whenever they get here. But assuming we get to 10 games, which is always kind of the point where you start saying, oh, there's some statistical significance in this data. And then like games 10 to 15, like, how do we look? How's the new CFC look? All those things. All right, Matthew, keep going.
Yeah. So Chicago was 7 first team players. Now, none of them were particularly egregious in terms of how I define it. I was having a conversation with someone who will remain nameless about like the drop down sort of thing. And like, unless you're dropping down like 7 28-year-olds that are on the senior roster.
Those 21 through 30 roster spots.
I just don't.
You expect to see it.
I just don't care. Like,
yep.
I want the level of this league to be higher.
Well, that makes one of us. I would like to win.
But I
don't want to play Crown every week.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play. A team of 11, 15-year-olds. Like,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I want to play. Like if these are going to be second teams, like I want them to be like good second teams. Like I want the level of second teams to be in a place where, if we are competitive in a league like that, then we are among the better lower league teams in the country. And it's not really there. Sometimes it acts like it every now and then. It's just a function of this league. It's very, you never know what you're going to get on any given weekend.
For sure.
But like Chicago dropped, a bunch of first team guys down, for us. And then, a couple of them were in the first team lineup. And so they didn't play against Carolina Core as an example, cause they were with the first team. Like, okay, that's the nature of life here.
Yes.
So playing them competitively, that's a hard game. And then, you've got the snowstorm roll through right after that game. If you'll remember, it snowed on Monday in Chattanooga, just freakish kind of stuff. And the team doesn't get home. They have to, their flights get canceled. They don't get out of Chicago. They end up getting on a bus on Tuesday.
Yeah,
and
whole extra,
busing back.
They should have flown back on Monday.
They could have flown back on Sunday night. I don't know if they were supposed to or not.
I believe it was Monday. I was told it was Monday.
Okay. So like they leave Chicago 24 hours after they're supposed to.
Also, if I misunderstood that, I'm sorry for whoever's I'm misrepresenting here, but I believe that they were scheduled to fly out like Monday morning or Monday afternoon, something like that.
So they get back. They leave a full 24 hours minimum later than they're supposed to. They take a bus because they couldn't get on the plane. And so they don't get back until, 24 hours before you're supposed to play an Open Cup game. And so, like, yeah, they came out a little sluggish. Like, there were some sloppy touches. It took them a little while to catch up to speed. I thought they managed the Kalonji Pro Profile game really, really, really well.
Yeah, and so something that we talked about before, and it bears repeating, like these amateur teams, this is their Super Bowl. And we were that amateur team. That's why I said that. This is no shade here. So that they came out and they played very hard, and they had shout out to Karim Tamimi, who is who played left wing for them in that game, who is a former Atlanta United 2 player who's absolutely good enough to be still playing in MLS Next Pro. My guess is he wanted to do a real adult thing and move on to like being a real adult, but like he was excellent all game. They were solid.
You've got a center midfielder there. He's a guy who actually missed the penalty, Tony Tiente. He is a long time like lower division pro player. He's played for Georgia Revolution a bunch like over the years. Like that's a guy that's also he's familiar with Finley Stadium. Like he's played against us before. He knows the environment. You have a couple of guys like that to mix with a younger, like other kind of group, like it really, really helps. Mm-hmm. And so like they knew what they signed up for.
They had a solid game plan
and
we managed it and took care of business.
And sometimes a freak thing happens. Like you save a penalty and a 14-year-old does one of the best chips I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Griffin makes a wonderful track back and dive and he's like just right over his head. Like
sometimes it happens, but like the guys really like grew into the game. It was a good opportunity for guys like Amzi to get his first start ever for CFC. For Ashton, same thing.
For Darwin got
the start and went pretty much the distance.
Let's talk about his goal.
Great goal from Darwin. We had been building for a while at that point, and just hadn't been able to get the thing over the line. And just a good little sequence of play. Ball comes in. Amzi backheels it to Darwin. He shoots. It's blocked. It falls right to him. He collects it.
Takes a little shimmy.
Rounds the player a little bit and just puts it in the corner. Like that's really, really good stuff for his first goal. By the way, that's now 2 goals in a row, or 2 games in a row, including the Huntsville one, where we've scored a goal in first half stoppage time. Like that's huge. We have grown into both of these games.
We conceded a lot of those last year and the year.
Yeah, like we've just grown into these games a little bit better. So DBJ got 45. He did not play at all. I think he dressed against Connecticut, but did not play because I think they were nursing a little something. He goes 5 minutes in Chicago. He gets 45 in the run out. So like there were some good minutes exercises there. I loved that we didn't panic in that Open Cup game. Mm-hmm. Like,
no, exactly.
Eldon wasn't even on the bench,
which is good.
Alex wasn't even on the bench,
which is good.
So just like,
Tate wasn't in the starting lineup.
Stick to the game plan, stick to the minutes rotation, let the guys figure it out. They figured it out. They got it done. Wasn't always pretty, but like that's what the Open Cup's all about.
And we scored 2 goals in the 46th minute.
Yeah.
One in the 46th minute in the first half and one in the 46th minute of the second half.
Yeah. So, and then they come out and
you want to talk about Amzi's goal a little bit?
You're on 3 games in 6 days and you struggle a little bit out of the gate and then you figure it out and you draw back to be level against Huntsville.
Last thing before we go to Huntsville, Amzi's goal was lovely, in particular because I thought we came out like real pros and super sharp in the second half to start out especially. And I think sometimes you can come out a little lackluster against an amateur team, and many, many times 70 minutes in, like that's when I watched, 15 Open Cup games, parts of at least. And almost every one around the 70th minute, like that's when the pro team catches up. That's when the pro team
just starts to turn the screw a little bit.
Because that's when the pro team who has guys whose job it is to stay fit, start the fitness chain. Because the quality difference, yes, it's there, but the quality intensity difference together makes it tough. But we didn't have to wait until that point because Amzi came out, was super sharp, just took 2 little dribbles, perfectly slotted home before they even knew what happens. And that's all she wrote and all we needed. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Huntsville. Talk about the goals, kind of how they happen for both teams, and then I guess we can touch with anything else we're missing, and then get out of here. Do you want to start in chronological order of the Huntsville goals?
For us,
I was going to say for them and then for us. So they go up 2-0. I don't know if you want to talk about either goal or if you just want to skip through them.
Yeah. first goal is a little bit of interplay, and they're able to play some really good passing. Just chips a ball in behind. I think Matthias thinks it's offside, and maybe is a little slow. If I can be critical, a little bit slow to recover. And then Shaq Moore does Shaq Moore shit. Shaq Muhammad. Sorry. Shaq Muhammad.
Shaq Moore, another Nashville player named Shaq.
Former Nashville player. Shaq Muhammad does Shaq Muhammad shit and cuts in real hard. And Matthias does well to go with him, to be clear. And it's just one of them things.
And it
hits off.
It takes a deflection and goes through Eldon's legs.
Because
from like 4 yards away.
Eldon's pretty wide in his stance because he's sticking out his leg to stop the ball at near post, and it just deflects off. I think it's Matthias, and just goes
between his legs.
Just goes between Eldon's legs.
It's harder to see the deflection. You can kind of see it on the 90 and 15. We were right there, where we were, and it's a clear deflection. Like it's just one of those. It's bad luck. Like,
and he hits it really, really hard too.
I mean, Shaq Muhammad is a terrifying player. He is, I remember watching him for Orlando last year, and no one will make you clench like Shaq Muhammad when he's got the ball driving at your defense.
Yeah.
And honestly, we kept him reasonably quiet.
That was really his only.
Other than that,
was his only moment of the game. Really. Now he scores it. So
yeah.
There was a terrifying moment over the top. I think from the goalkeeper to Max Eck. That Eldon just stands real big and forces him to pick a corner, and
thank goodness.
And Eck pulls it off the half volley off the bounce.
Friend of the pod, Max Eck.
Parents at least.
One time 3 years ago, but I'll always love that kid.
I think I ran into them again at the playoff game.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, he puts it wide, and then second goal, just another good passing sequence. I think we could probably defend it a little bit better. To not let the left back Molina get down the line as hard as he did. And then Eck does a great job of just like slowing his run and like creating the angle and the position. And so Molina delivers him a perfect ball, and all Eck has to do is just redirect it into the net.
Honestly, our first goal and their second goal have a lot of similarities. They're not the same goal, but they're both a driven, very good cross directly to the head of an attacker to make basically the goalkeeper's job impossible. Yeah.
So in the second minute of first half stoppage time, we have a little quick restart. And Tate's sitting in pretty deep in central midfield, just collects the first ball.
He splits the center backs. Yeah.
Turns, looks, fires a big diagonal to Eves down the right-hand side. Eves collects it, touch, looks across, whips the ball near post. Alex Krell does a phenomenal job of being in the right space, AK-23.
There we go.
Does a phenomenal job of being in the right space. Exactly the type of space you're supposed to be in. You want that striker in that moment to make that kind of crossing run to the near post. If you beat your man to the near post, good things happen.
Yep.
And that's whether you get serviced the ball or not. And
good things happened.
Keeper's in no man's land trying to come out.
Even if he weren't in no man's land, it's a
Zach Barrett's rushing across to try to cover him off, but Krell's starting position was really, really good there. So he's able to win that battle coming across. Cristiano, the left center back for Huntsville's in absolute no man's land, looking after Anthony Garcia. Just really good stuff. By the way, there were multiple runs in that box.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing that's different from last year and the year before.
You've got Krell running across at near post. You've got
Anthony making the run at near post.
You've got two guys at the top of the box because this thing happens very, very quickly. Yes. So if there's a deflection, maybe the keeper gets to it, maybe there's a clearance of some kind. There's just opportunity there for the next phase of that attack. Now, it doesn't happen. It hits Krell's head. It's into the back of the net. It's 2-1 in stoppage time, and that gave us a lot of lift.
Huge momentum
to carry on into the second half.
Yeah, big vibe changer, huge momentum shift, and really I think propelled us into a second half where we were just a lot better.
Huntsville had a lot of the ball in the second half still. Like, that's just what they do. But they didn't do anything with it. Like, we just watched the 90 and 15 before jumping on this podcast. And there's just not until the very end of the game, like stoppage time era, where it's already 2-2. Like, do they have anything come up, Huntsville?
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't have a ton of stuff, but we had just like little bits, like a little danger adjacency here and there. We have a free kick in the 66th minute ish that goes off the bar.
Yeah,
off
beautiful shot from Tate there.
There was a lot to like if you can put like pure like vibes giving up 2 goals early.
Look, ball
in
doesn't
the first half.
We didn't get all 3 points, and so that's always going to be tough.
Yeah, you'd like to win the shootout, but
and like you said, something you said I think is very true. If we have been up 2-0 and we concede 2 goals to then go, but we go down 2 goals, which sucks, and then we fight back, we get the 2 goals, and then we could have had a third potentially. It doesn't work out, and we go to the penalty shootout. And look, penalty shootouts. It is what it is. We're not even gonna talk about it probably. No. But like you get the 1 point, and tie on the road, win at home is the formula. We've got to start winning at home, but color me cautiously optimistic that we are going to be more competitive in the middle of the season.
I really like the way they have set things up to be able, like how we defend this year is different than last year in a way that I'm not willing to say is better because I want more data, is trending early on in that kind of positive way. The way we are attacking is producing very clear, like different and good, better output than last year. Both of those things together are interesting. We need more data and more time and more games to see where it goes. But I am encouraged at this point in time.
Tell me about our next game.
Next game is at home on Saturday, the 28th. I believe it's Columbus Crew 2.
It is.
Then we will host Tennessee Tempo, our old friends from Poku FC.
Bongo, Captain Bongo.
Yeah, Captain Bongo coming back. Open Cup match on Wednesday, April the 1st. That will be at 6 p.m.
2 big games in 4 days.
And then
5 days.
Yeah, and so we'll have Columbus at home on Saturday at 7 p.m. Then we'll have Tennessee Temple on Wednesday at home at 6 p.m. And then we get a little bit of a break because we are off the first weekend of April.
And here's to hoping this is when all of our players start arriving so they can get 2 weeks of second preseason.
That'd be nice because then we'll come back with Saturday, April 11 against Orlando City.
Is that at home?
Yes, it is. Let me just run out the end of the April schedule. Saturday, April 18 is on the road at Crown. And then there's another off weekend between that day and when we host Huntsville on May 2nd.
Crown is going to gut this incredible team. And we're going to
probably halfway through the year.
And we're going to get them twice early, which is so unfair. Also, Matthew, what do you think the chances are that we get an MLS team if, not looking past Tempo, but if we can get a win?
If we advance past Tempo, then we will get an MLS team. That's 100% chance. We will be into the round of 32. There will be 16 MLS teams. There will be 16 survivors.
And they'll all pair with an MLS team.
Yeah, and so just so you understand how that format's going to go, there will be 8 MLS teams at home. I believe it's known, but not published who they are. And there will be 8 MLS teams on the road.
Do you
know? That is
know?
already decided. I believe it goes by standings. So those 16 MLS teams are seeded 1 through 16. And I believe top half get to host and bottom half have to go on the road.
So maybe, we can host an MLS team.
So like your MLS teams that didn't make the playoffs, as an example, and this isn't like completely 1-to-1 because
MLS is stupid.
Because like Vancouver, so Toronto didn't make the playoffs, Montreal didn't make the playoffs, but Vancouver did. So Vancouver will compete in Leagues Cup, I think. No, I don't think they actually are. I don't think Vancouver competes in Leagues Cup because they have to compete in Canadian Championship. They don't get a choice. And they are in CC, CONCACAF Champions League for now. I think they got dumped out last week. So I think they only get a maximum of 2 extra competitions, so I don't think they're even in Leagues Cup. But Toronto and Montreal, we don't have to worry about them being
in the US Open Cup.
In the Open Cup. They're in CONCACAF, or they're in the Canadian Championship. So like Atlanta United didn't make the playoffs. DC United didn't make the playoffs. Thinking the Eastern Conference here. Like they're, I think, on the road. They're road teams in the Open Cup.
So there's a
team like
there's a world in which we get Atlanta again, but potentially at home. Potentially.
A team like Austin, who made the playoffs in the Western Conference. I think it's like a 6 seed or something. They made the playoffs, but did not make CONCACAF play. So I think they get a home game. Is roughly how that works.
This is so convoluted and stupid. I hate MLS.
Yeah, and then we don't know about we don't know about like who's like there might be some like geographic issues that force certain teams to travel, and so like we'll just see. Like I don't think it's going to be as simple as, Atlanta's got to go on the road. We want to host the third round, so Atlanta comes here.
Yeah,
like
also,
it may not be that simple.
Also, we don't know if we've put in to host the third round. We usually do, but heaven forbid there's something going on. Who knows? And then also we just don't know how these new pairings are going to work. And also I am not looking past. I am talking about potential. I'm not looking past Tennessee Tempo.
Tennessee Tempo went out and beat a third division pro team. So like
allegedly pro
that could be us.
Yeah. No, totally.
On any given day, like that could be us.
No. And Tennessee Temple, we've played them in the preseason many times, including this year.
No, not last year. Last year.
My preseason's mixed up. But point being is like it's going to be a hard fought game. If we can see them out, playing an MLS team will be fun on the road or at home. And I look forward to it. Is there anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so.
If you haven't...
Yes. First women's player was announced last week.
Ooh.
Kylie Hall, goalkeeper returning.
Welcome back, Kylie. Very excited about that.
We speculated that someone like Kylie, who was coaching I think at SSA last spring, we speculated that someone like her would make a lot of sense to be moving to our academy. And
I don't know if she has.
I think she did.
Did she? Okay. You and I both speculated that would be a wonderful move. Also, she's a very, very good player and a wonderful anchor. And I don't, who knows? This is first players, so who knows who's starter, who's not. But like, she's our starting keeper. I'm very comfortable.
Same.
That is
women's schedule is also out too.
Yes.
So and we'll talk. We'll do a women's team preview a little bit closer once we know more players. Yeah. The schedule's out there. Put it on your radar. Women's soccer deserves to be supported, and
you're missing out if you don't. It's so much fucking fun.
Yeah,
the away games especially, but also the home games.
Yep.
Also, if you haven't listened/watched our interview with new Chief Business Officer Chad Emerson, check it out. I think it's an interesting and important look into somebody that is now has a big hand in running our club.
Yeah.
And so check it out. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, a like would make us really happy, and we'll catch up with you later. Peace.